Hello and welcome to Talk Fulton. I'm Tania Boys, and today we are up close and personal with Chief Information Security Officer Terrence Slayton. Terrence, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, help me out a little bit. I said your title, but I have no idea what that means. Chief Information Security Officer. Can you break that down for me a little bit?
Simply put, I am the guy that if it turns on and plugs in and connects to the network, my job is to secure it, is to make sure that you can do it safely.
Gotcha.
So that covers everything in Fulton County from your PC to our cell phones to the servers to anything that we use outside of the network, such as like Microsoft M365 that everyone is used to. That is our job to go ahead and secure that as well. So as a security officer, my job is to come up with the policies and procedures and research any technologies that I feel is probably going to be the best bet for the county to try and secure our environment and the data that the citizens have us entrusted with.
Okay. So I didn't even realize I automatically think things on the network is just the internet, but you just mentioned like Microsoft Word and all of that. I mean, obviously it is connected to the internet in some facets, but it didn't occur to me that even Microsoft Word needs to be protected.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that sounds like a lot. It's probably overwhelming.
It can be. It has been. I've been on the road for like the last 5 years, but I've been with Fulton County for 18.
Oh, wow.
And I'm one of the lucky ones. I started off as a PC specialist here.
Oh, wow.
And I've been able to see every aspect of the county. Working as a PC specialist, network admin, all the way up to my current role is CISO. Yeah, there is a lot to cover for Fulton County. We do a lot, and we cover a lot of different areas. So security touches some of everything. And that experience I've gotten being here for 18 years and working from the bottom up has definitely helped me in the role right now.
Wow. Well, you're reading my mind because I was definitely going to ask you how long have you been with the county and what that journey was like. So talk to me a little bit about that. Did you know is there like a course kind of charted out for that, the cybersecurity awareness, or how does that go? Or is it kind of just feeling your way through and promotions? I'm
pretty sure now when I look back at it, there are some probably well-charted courses, but mine was not necessarily a well-charted course. I graduated from Alabama A&M University with a degree in electrical engineering. Came home, found out that was not my love.
That's how it goes.
I went back to Herzing College here in Atlanta and got a degree in computer networking. And probably about a month after I graduated, Fulton County gave me a call.
Wow.
And let me start. And from there, I was able to sort of feel my way around. This is the great thing about the county is that we have such a big and robust IT department. There's many different facets you can touch on. And I started off with networking, started off, and the next thing was hardware, servers, and then I just sort of fell into security. And from that point, I fell in love with it. It was the thrill of the hunt of trying to find the bad guy, to block the bad guy, to find new technology and implement it that would stop the bad guys. I'm an engineer at heart, so therefore, jumping in security, you really get to touch every aspect of IT, and it's all about trying to secure that particular aspect. Enjoyed it, so that's what led me into the security realm, and some pretty good mentors. They were able to go ahead and guide me up to where I am right now.
That's amazing. That is amazing. The way you talk about it, it's like cops and robbers, like bad guys, and it takes it back to childhood. I love that viewpoint of. I think that kind of demystifies the idea of cybersecurity a little bit for us.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about? So every year, I didn't even know this. There's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Can you tell us when that is? Talk to us a little bit about that. What's the purpose of all that?
Okay. So Cybersecurity Awareness Month is normally in October. It's something mandated by, I want to say, upper level government, like government agencies like CISA, help to promote Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And the entire purpose of the month is to try and educate and bring higher awareness to people about being safe online, right? Being safe with your digital identity, which is your username, your password, using MFA, to go ahead and secure your username, password for whatever device, making you think twice about what you click on. When a phishing email comes in, you need to be able to recognize that this nice friendly email that's urging you to get this free pizza is not actually a good email for you to be clicking on. So, Cybersecurity Awareness Month is all about trying to raise awareness and to inform people and make them think twice. Some of the simple activities you do could be the most dangerous. Because it's not always the big glaring movie style attacks that happen. Sometimes it's always the simple. I was able to compromise one person's password. I was able to compromise one person's PC because they clicked on the wrong link, and that could lead to an avalanche of a cyber event. So Cybersecurity Awareness Month is all about trying to educate everyone, even re-educate some cybersecurity professionals about the best ways of trying to be safe online.
Okay, that makes sense. You used the term, and I want to take us back because you said using MFA. Break that down for us. What is MFA?
Okay. So MFA, we use way too many acronyms in IT. MFA is multi-factor authentication, right? And the purpose of multi-factor authentication is to provide another method to verify that's you trying to log on, right? So to relate it back to our regular lives, right now, just about everyone's bank, when you log into the website, you put your username, you put your password, and then it says we're going to send you a code on your phone. That is actually multi-factor authentication. Reason why is they're considered multi-factor because one factor was your password. The second factor is the text message that you receive with that code, right? And the thought behind that is that even if your username got out into the wind, like some of the data breaches that we've heard, and even if your password got out into the wind, that last factor is what protects you, because that's something that you have, and something that either something you have or something that you know or something that you are, meaning fingerprint scan or something of that nature. Most of our phones have it. That second factor is what protects your account, that even if your username and password is known by someone else, they don't have that last authentication factor. And that's what's keeping you safe. That's what's stopping the bad guy from getting into your account.
Okay. So we've heard of that, but we just didn't know it as MFA. So thank you for explaining that for us. So speaking of passwords, we get these alerts every so often from our phones to, county email access and all that. We have to change our passwords, and it's very specific. We have to have X amount of characters with this and that, and it can be annoying in the moment, but can you talk to us about the importance of that? Why does it have to be those specific things? Other than obviously keeping your password safe, but what is it about those things that helps keep your password safe?
All right. So the threat actors, the bad actors, the bad guys, they have some very sophisticated tools to try and crack a password. All right. So a simple password, something that's shorter than 10 characters, a regular laptop can actually be used to break it.
Oh.
Right. And it doesn't take that long for that password to get broken. A simple password that's something that's not complex, meaning you just use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right.
Right. That's something that can easily be broken. Or if you use the word password as your password.
I feel like you're asking for it. If you use password or 1, 2, 3, 4 in there, it's like, hack me, please.
Right. So because of that, that's why we have to put strict requirements on what the password should be. What we found over the years is that the longer the password is, the longer it takes for the bad guy to crack it, which the bad guys don't like spending a lot of time on particular assets. They pretty much want I want the quick wins.
Wow.
Right? So if you can make it hard for them in any shape, form, or fashion by using a longer password, then that's the best method for it. Now, one of the things I do like to encourage about passwords is that nobody wants to remember a bunch of random characters. Nobody can remember a bunch of random characters past 15, 16 characters. That's where passphrases come in handy. All right? Passphrases are just simply a phrase that that no one else would normally associate with you. Changing or adding a couple of twists in there so it doesn't just be the typical word. And using it, because you will always remember the passphrase. One of the passphrases I've used in the past is culture for service and service for humanity. All right?
That's a long password.
Yes, it is. Take that, change 1 or 2 numbers in it, and now you have almost 20, 25 character password that I've known it for the longest, and naturally I can type that in.
Okay.
But to the bad guy, they have no idea that that's a type password. All they know is they see this is a 25 character password that they got to take time to try and crack. I'm gonna pass on him. I'm gonna take the guy that got the 10 character password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7.
So in this case, we're trying to be overlooked. We don't want to be seen. I get that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So thank you for explaining the difference between a password or how a passphrase can play into a password, because that was one of my questions. With these thoughts in mind, like, what are some of the other things aside from following the directions to make our passwords? What can we do to keep our lives safe at home, at work, at play? Like, what are some of the tips that you could give us?
The best tip I can give is always think twice before you do anything. Before you click on it, before you access a particular Wi-Fi, before you send an email, respond to an email, log into a website, always think twice, right? The bad guys really count on us being in our very hurried lives careless, waiting on for a particular mistake. One of the things that we talk about on our side of cybersecurity as defenders is we have to get it right all the time. The bad guys only have to get it right once.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they're looking for that one mistake, that one user to slip up and make that mistake. So therefore, the best thing that you can do is always think twice about whatever you're about to do online, anything relating with your password, your identity, anything that you consider valuable. Basically, transfer the same concepts that you use in your regular life. The way you keep your house secure, you keep two locks on the door,
Yeah.
a regular lock and a deadbolt. You make sure the windows and doors are locked. You double check it before you leave the house. You actually turn the lights on to check things. That same principle that you use in your regular life, you should use in your physical life. You should use in your digital life as well. Where you think twice about your password. That you don't keep the same password for every account that you have. Right? If you have 5 different accounts, you honestly should have 5 different passwords. Because if they get one,
right,
they got you
access.
all. Right. So you definitely don't ever want to get yourself tied in a situation like that. Now, I know what I just said is that's huge, right? And it's a lot to have to do, but there are ways to simplify that. There are things called password managers, that you can utilize. Most of us are used to seeing Google or Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, the web browsers, allow you to save your passwords there. So now you don't have to remember it, right? It's convenient, but not the safest tactic for you to go with, right? The bad guys can try to go ahead and hack your browser or send some type of malicious code that would pull the information out of your browser, and now all those passwords. One of the better ways of going about it is there are password managers such as LastPass, Bitwarden, anything along those lines. Those independent password managers that you only need to remember one password, right? Okay. And I would encourage it to be a passphrase, something long that you're going to remember. And then all your other passwords you now store in this password manager. So what makes your life simpler is that you only have to go ahead and remember that one password, and anytime you get ready to go to the website, you remember the one password, gets you into your password manager, and then your password manager will have the password for that particular site. You can just copy it in. Easy breezy, and it's sitting there safe, and you don't have to worry about the fact that I got 20 different accounts and 20 different passwords, so you only have one to remember now.
That's helpful. So, because I was going to ask you about the security of, the saved passwords in our browsers and all that. Mm-hmm. So the platforms that you mentioned, how do those work? Or is it the same way? Do they kind of pop up when you need a password, or do you have to go get that password? What is that like?
Yeah. For the ones I mentioned, and this one I use personally is Bitwarden. It has a plugin, or it's just basically an add-in to your web browser that ties it back to Bitwarden's main website that has a vault that has your password saved in it with a high level of encryption to the point that even the company, Bitwarden, can't access that vault. They can't even get it. So if you forget your password, that's just a lost vault, right? But because it has a plug-in or just a little add into the browser, it sits up in the upper corner, and now when you need to access it, you just click on the add-in, add your password, and it ties you back to the original website, and allows you to pull the information. The reason why it's more secure is because none of the information lives in your browser. It doesn't live on your PC. It doesn't live on your in the web browser. It's not saved or the PC saved on a file on your desktop. So it's always in a secure location, always communicated over a secure channel, most likely 443. Sorry, that's me geeking out. But
I was like,
but it's connected over a secure connection between your PC and that particular location, so that even if your desktop ends up having malware, slips on, because it's not residing on your desktop, it's safe, remotely. So therefore, you don't have to worry about it being compromised.
Okay, that's definitely good to know. A great resource to have. We appreciate that. You did throw it out there, so I feel like we need to let everybody know. 443. What is that?
Okay. Like I said, in IT, we use a whole bunch of acronyms and a whole bunch of numbers things. 443 is port. It's basically a communication channel. You can call it the same way we designate interstates. I-20. 443 is that particular, is the type of lane or communication lane between you and another location. Now, there's two different styles that you'll look at. Port 80, that's just general web traffic. If you just go to www.msn.com, you could go with port 80. That's not secure. Anybody can see it. So it's available. What you would prefer is always use 443. That's the secure lane. That's like Georgia's HOV lane, what used to be HOV lane, now the toll lane, where you got to pay for it to be in there, right? It's supposed to be the more secure method of communicating between you and that particular website. So therefore, even if there is a bad guy that is trying to sniff around and trying to pick up your traffic, because it's secure between you and that particular web browser, they can't peek in the middle and see your traffic going back and forth. So that's what we mean by using port 443.
Okay. So that definitely sounds interesting, and I feel like I have more questions towards that, but I don't want to get us too deep where you can't pull us out. But one follow-up question to that: how would we know which one we're using?
All right. So each one of your web browsers, in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the web address that you want to go to. Right beside it, there will be either a lock icon, or it'll look like an unlocked icon. That's letting you know if your communication is secure or unsecure. So if you see it unlocked, then most likely you're using port 80, right? But if you see a lock icon in that top left, then that means you're using 443 and you're actually doing secure traffic, between you and that particular website. Sites that you want to make sure that is you are using secure are like your bank. If you go to bankofamerica.com, if you look at the top left-hand side and you don't see that lock icon to let you know that's secure, you do not want to try to access that site at that particular time. So that's how you'll know 443 versus 80.
Wow, we're going to have you back so you can just do like a 101 of this is what you should be looking for. If you see this, run. We need to have you back for that. I do want to pivot just a little bit so you could talk a little bit about, and even if you want to dive back into your career span, what are some of the most important lessons that you've learned in this field?
Okay. I'm trying to make sure I stay on topic, because I can really dive off into other things, but I'll try to stay on the security standpoint. Is that your identity is the most important thing. And I think, unfortunately, for a large degree, we've taken it for granted, or we've gotten a little immune to the data breaches that have occurred. That where they say your data, your information is now out there, and it's happening so often that it's becoming sort of second nature. Like, oh, here we go with another one. But you have to understand that is the most important thing in your digital life, and it has physical. Real physical, real life implications, if it's compromised. If your digital identity, meaning your name, username, and password for a particular website is compromised, now the real life implications could be that they've drained your bank account. No, is that they've turned around and opened up a mortgage in your name, or gone and filed a quitclaim deed, which is another very scary thing that I've found out about. My mom's a real estate agent, so she's had to educate me on that particular threat. But your identity is the most cherished thing that you need to hold on to, and do everything you can to protect it. So when you're hear about a data breach and you find out that you're a customer of that particular company, immediately go check yourself. Check your credit report. Make sure that you're good. I would say honestly, yes, freezing your credit is a good option, so that nothing else can be opened up, closed, or changed on your credit. Getting credit monitoring or some type of credit alerts, so that if someone has attacked or tried to impersonate you in some type of nature. Your identity is the most important, so therefore you should be careful about where you use it, how you use it as well, and the fact that you should take the time and only use your core identity, meaning if most things are now tied to our cell phones or tied to our email accounts, your core identity, that email account that handles some of the main functions of your life, such as your bank account, your mortgage, and whatnot, that should be only used for that. And then if you have another interest in like Amazon or Temu or something of that nature, that should be a completely different email account that's unassociated with anything critical in your life. And you should only use your identity, the main identity, for your main things to keep you safe.
Okay, so you're saying anything financial or social, those kind of things, it should be in one email, and make a separate email for kind of the fun.
Yep, absolutely.
Interesting. Never heard that before. That's definitely a thought for consideration. Any other important lessons before you give us any last words you might want to leave us with?
Beyond the identity, I want to say that's probably the most important that I've come across. At least when it comes down to translating cybersecurity into real life, paying attention to your identity, where you use your account, and how it's used, and how you communicate, and what device you actually use it on. Those are some of the most important things that I think anyone should focus on in order to try and protect themselves, because you don't have an army, you don't have like the county resources behind you to protect you on your just average day of cybersecurity. When you are at home going to a website or just surfing to go look at Netflix or look at another movie, you don't have an army trying to protect you. You have only you. So therefore, you have to remain vigilant about what you click on, where you sign in at. Even simple accounts like Netflix, that account, when you log into your Netflix and you're the primary account holder, you can see the card that's used. So you want to be a little bit cautious about how you utilize that Netflix account. Not necessarily like if you're staying in a hotel, don't go sign into the hotel Wi-Fi and use your Netflix account, because the hotel Wi-Fi is unsecured. So therefore, now there may be someone else on the floor that can access the traffic that you're doing and intercept your Netflix account. And now all of a sudden, your Netflix account's being used in Dubai. So
right. Okay. Yeah. So as you talk, it's just like I just see red flags going up in my life. Are you that person at the family functions? Are you like, you shouldn't be doing that?
I have become that person. Yes. The more I've gotten into cybersecurity, is the more everything is perceived as a threat. I look at everything as, what could possibly go wrong, and how do I fix that? Or how do I go about not falling into that trap and educating people around me about it? I had a very close frat brother explain something. He's in cybersecurity as well, and he explained something just on a personal level of don't use a debit card for everything. Your debit card is directly tied to your checking account. So if something happens, then your money is immediately gone, right? And he said your better purpose is to actually use a credit card, because credit cards have more protection. If there's any type of fraud, if there's any type of fraud alert that occurs, on your credit card, your credit card is more likely to go ahead and reimburse your account, or just basically, put the money back into on the credit, and go after whomever actually stole your the money, versus the bank account. Y'all know most banks, they're gonna know you got to fight to get your money back. You got to prove that wasn't you that did it, and you have to wait to get your money back. Whereas using the credit card, it's almost instant protection. And he related it to our work and profession, in that your credit card becomes your firewall, right? That's the thing that everyone sees, that's the thing that everyone hits, but that's the thing that's going to give you the most protection, versus your debit card. That's something that's your money, and you should have it now.
That's an interesting perspective, because I'm on a debt freedom journey for myself. So I'm like paying off credit cards, and I wanted to shut them down, but like hearing this, it's like it's giving another perspective of maybe just keeping it for, because apparently I'm swiping my debit card too much too. I'm gonna go fix my life after this episode, but that's a good way to think about it. More insight when it comes to credit. Do you have any? I'm afraid to say it because you just just showing me how much I need to get myself together. But any last thoughts that you might want to leave the audience with?
Treat cybersecurity the same way you do your personal security. That's the one thing definitely want to drive home. That your personal, we are very cautious people when we walk out.
Right.
When we leave our homes, we make sure they're locked. When we leave our cars, we make sure they're locked. We take things out of the car to make sure that no one breaks into it. They ought to go ahead and take those items. We take a lot of precautions in our physical lives. Take that same idea and concept and transfer it into your digital life, and that's how you want to remain secure in cybersecurity. So.
Is it possible, and this will be my last question before we wrap, is it possible that for somebody who may have already made a bunch of mistakes in their digital life, is it possible, I know you only get one thumbprint, right? Do you get another? Is it possible to reset? Are you just like rebuilding from where you are? How would you go about that, resetting everything?
My thought, no, you reset from where you are, right?
Okay.
No, you would definitely take a look at your digital footprint, meaning all the accounts. Same way you would do in your personal debt, where you look at all the accounts you have open. Look at your digital life, all the accounts you have open, all the email accounts you have associated with different items. And if it's something that you do not need, delete it. No, unassociate it. Go to the bottom of that email and click on unsubscribe, so that you don't get a whole bunch of spam email. You can always, email accounts are free. With Microsoft and with Google and with some of the Yahoo. I think I'm dating myself.
They still got Yahoo.
Yeah, it's still Yahoo. So
I didn't know that.
Those email accounts are free. So you creating a new email account to go ahead and use that as your safety net. I mean, this is my secure email. That's you can do that at any point in time. And then if you have some fun things that you want to go sign up for, but you don't ever want to see again, then you go ahead and create another account that's your junk account and go from there. So at no point in time are you ever at a point of no return. You can always hit a reset, close out things that you have, and open up new. That's the benefit of your digital life over your physical.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but when they hear this, I'm just kind of like, oh, I need to go fix some things. But no, thank you. Seriously, this was very insightful. We'll definitely have to have you back. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Talk Fulton. Be sure to connect with us on social.